Welcome back to Views with Hughes, Jennifer News. This is Jerome Hughes, and today's top story, we got more updates from the backlash from Webb as well as Sony. Sony. Wow, I really messed that up. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we've all heard about, Dakota Johnson as well as Sydney Sweeney coming forward and criticizing the films and stuff, especially with the comments that Dakota Johnson has delivered into various, an outlet and everything about, the mistake that Sony's made. Now, ladies and gentlemen, get around because gotta tell his mind is it is mesmerizing and flips the script on what we've come to expect from the big fallout of these cinematic misadventures. It took me a while to think about that terminology, but I'm glad I came up with it and said it. And I don't regret it. You see, in the realm of comic book movies, I've talked about this plenty of times before, where a pattern has started emerging over the years. Pattern as predictable as the rising sun itself. Okay, different studios churning out a film that misses the mark so widely that it becomes the butt of a lot of jokes and the target of ridicule, as well as the feast for different critics and fans alike. Now, when these movies flop, the blame game begins, okay? People, studios blaming on the actors blaming on the studios, which rarely happens, but it's happening more nowadays. But it's never the studios, directors, or the stars that's taking the fall. The finger pointing is always sent to the fans and stuff, and spiraling uncontrollably and stuff, targeting the fans who dared to expect more. Okay, but what happens when the script is flipped itself? What unfolds when someone from within the eye of the storm, an actor, if you will, caught in the cinematic crossfire, stands up and says, you know what? The fans were right all along. It's the studio that missed the mark, Well, this, my friends, is the narrative that actually unfolded with Dakota Johnson in the movie Webb, a film that didn't just stumble at the box office. It basically face planted both critically and financially. All right. So instead of the all too familiar dance of deflection, we've actually witnessed the refreshing change in tune, where Sydney Sweeney, who's the co-star of Webb, took to Saturday Night Live some time ago, poking fun at her own movie's expense. Okay, now then Dakota Johnson herself delivered a scathing critique, not of the audience, but of the studio behind the debacle, okay, where she actually openly sided with the fans, actually asserting that the studio executives have lost touch with audiences themselves, relying too heavily on the different algorithms and communities and stuff, rather than the artistic vision that truly drives memorable cinema. So in other words, they relied heavily on the whole nostalgia as well as the CGIs and stuff, rather than good storytelling, as well as common sense itself. Webb, as I've said plenty of times before, is not a superhero. This movie, Webb, is not a superhero movie, okay? If people want a superhero movie, give them a superhero movie. There's no such thing as superhero fatigue. It's no such thing as people tired of too many superhero movies. They're tired of the superhero movies that lack quality, okay, where the creators and stuff are actually not doing a good enough job to go ahead and put the things together, as well as have enough knowledge up there to go ahead and realize that this is not what the fans wanted, okay? Now, instead of the, predictably, Sony, which the studio that's behind hits like Spider-Man, as well as Venom and stuff, and the same studio that's also behind Webb, was less than thrilled with Johnson's candidness. Okay, so there's different reports from the trade surfacing of Sony's discontent or unhappiness, with the insiders claiming that the studio questioned Johnson's star power and then regretted her refusal to show that any or limited or complain about her refusal to actually shuffle any blame and stuff to anyone else, like the fans, for example. But according to different rumors as well as whispers within the industry itself, while it's acceptable to actually mock and make fun of movies' poor performance, Johnson's outright criticism of the studio's approach to them actually crossed the line. Okay, but here's the thing. Johnson's outspoken defense of the audience's intelligence and her critique of the studio's methods have actually sparked a broader conversation about the state of the movie making today. Now, it's a conversation about authenticity, about artistic integrity, and the increasingly apparent disconnect between those who actually make movies and those who watch them. All right. Now, this particular saga raises a lot of questions, a lot of pivotal questions, if you will, where if can the traditional model of big studio movie studio productions with their reliance on data over creativity continue to actually thrive in an era where audiences crave genuine storytelling? And what does this also mean for actors and filmmakers who dare to try to challenge the status quo? Okay, something that a lot of fans have been wondering themselves, as well as hoping to see other actors and actresses doing, but in the end, while Sony may, be mad at Johnson's remarks and stuff, her willingness to actually stand up for the audience and to call out the studio's feelings may well actually have her fans to love her even more in a way that no blockbuster hit could. Okay. Now, as we move forward, Johnson's bold stance actually may continue with the shift in how the industry interacts with this audience, where it's possibly even signaling the move toward a more transparent, more collaborative, and respectful relationship between creators and consumers themselves. Okay, so you think that this might be also a part of the turning point for Hollywood, or is it just a blip on the radar? But yeah, like this isn't the first time where we've actually had somebody who's an actress of a movie that didn't do so well and stuff come out to defend the fans. Y'all remember Imani Vellani? Imani Vellani from Miss Marvel, the TV show, and the Marvels movie. Yeah, she didn't insult the fans. She didn't point fingers at them as a reason why it's flopping. No. And quite frankly, she actually stated that if you don't put out there the good quality content that the fans will enjoy, you will get little in return. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but she said like a lot stronger. She had a lot stronger language to that particular nature and everything. And it's like, will they actually take heed of these kind of warnings? Are they going to actually learn from this? Are they going to actually go ahead and continue with this? Because quite frankly, Sony, like Disney, is actually going the wrong way about things. Pretty sure this was years in planning for this movie and stuff, where they were actually planning to market it to a particular audience and stuff. Like I said before, they found the creators of this movie, the studio of this movie, decided to go ahead and have this particular movie catered to, women. Why? Because the lead actresses are women. Okay. The character, Madam Webb, a woman. They figure if it's a female-led superhero movie, then this should be for women. All right. But the problem is, who actually showed up at the theaters? It was men. Not a lot of men, but it was men. And the very women that they were trying to reach out to and everything, they didn't show up. Why? Because a lot of women out there are not interested in the superhero genre. Okay, there's some that are, but it's not enough for them to actually go ahead and get them to see this movie. Matter of fact, they didn't even show it to come see this movie. Okay, it was mainly younger males, or possibly like fewer older males and stuff, with a little bit of women out there, but not all the women that they were trying to market to. Okay, they figured that they went ahead and got a social media influencer and stuff in the movie and all of that, just to go ahead and get more butts in the seat and market out on social media apps like TikTok and stuff. And then they still failed. They failed because they got the marketing, they did a good job putting it out there and stuff. But the problem is they did a bad job on choosing a particular demographic. Okay, men are the ones that are into the superhero genre. It's dominated by men. Okay. Women, we welcome women to more women into the superhero genre as well. And also we've tried to encourage them to come along and stuff, but they're just not interested. There's some of them that are, but they're small in number. Okay. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Do you think that Sony will actually recover from this, or do you think that they're going on a downward spiral? Okay, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts you might have in this particular topic. If you enjoy what I shared in this video, go ahead and smash the like button and share far across social media. Until then, peace.